Guys, this is Ori Chukoji again, and welcome to Ori Talks Football. Again, guys, like, subscribe, and leave a comment on the video. And I'm really angry, guys. I'm really disappointed and angry about the performance. Very frustrated, I would say. And yeah, guys, I think that's a bad start to the season in terms of the performance and in terms of what they've shown. Like, the lack of desire and the lack of energy in our performance was very prevalent, and there's a lot of work that has to be done in the team. Like, I don't even want to beat around the bush and just say that was poor and disgraceful, honestly. Like, I saw that in the game against AC Milan, and again I'm seeing it in the game today against Hull City. United's lack of desire and lack of energy. And the biggest thing I'll say is our ability to start off fast and move the ball with conviction is something that we still do not do. Like, it's like our players play in moments. They play when they want to play, and we're still showing vulnerabilities that we've shown for the past few seasons. I've said it and I'll say it again, guys. Our players do not know how to play against solid teams that play on a low block. We still do not do that well. Especially when we play away, we struggle so much to play against teams that sit back. It's like our players don't know how to move and play in short spaces. Our passing is very poor. Our movement is very pedestrian and very slow. And the most important thing is that our desire on the ball and our willingness to work hard off the ball and is something that we still struggle with. Teams can easily play through us. And that's the biggest thing, is that it wasn't very hard for Hull City to get out to our half. And Hull City knew that the most important thing they could do, get the ball out to our wing backs, put the balls in the box. And set pieces is still a struggle. So we conceded goals of set pieces, guys. We conceded goals of set pieces. And that's such a big problem from Man United. It's like, again, our inability for our defense to move the ball and to defend set pieces and on crosses is still a huge struggle. And we have Heaven and we have Maguire in defense. Again, our ability to close down the opposition very fast, we are still not doing it. It looked like we're a team that, and when we have the ball and when we were playing, we looked like a team that was just, we look like players that were just taken, we like players that don't know each other. It's like there were players that were taken from different teams and put together and play. We didn't play with any conviction, with any energy, with any desire. We were just so slow, very lackadaisical, and just playing with no desire and playing with moments. And guys, that was poor. Honestly speaking, that was very poor. We didn't create any chance that I would say was a huge chance. Besides the opportunity that Mbeumo had when he was given a through ball by Cunha. I don't even know any other clear-cut chance. And like, guys, I'll speak about the game also, especially in the first half. Again, the Hull City did what I think AC Milan did. Even though Hull City, I think, would have less quality than AC Milan. They played in the back five. They compressed the space in their defensive lines. They made sure that they made United's attacking players come to the ball instead of running. And most importantly, they did not give Manchester United space to play in the pockets. They didn't allow Manchester United to play in the half spaces. They didn't allow Manchester United's play, especially the runners like Mbeumo and runners like Cunha, to make runs in behind. And especially the spaces, especially the defensive line and the midfield line was very narrow, very compact, and they made things very difficult. And that was one of the things that I said, that is that the biggest thing that I'm looking from Manchester United this season, progression is, for me, yes, being able to defend set pieces, being able to control the game. But the biggest thing that I wanted to see from Manchester United, when you play away from home, when you are playing against teams that do not give you space in behind and that sit big and play on the low block, do you have the capacity, the combination, and the quality to be able to break times teams that play on low blocks? That is the biggest thing that I said. And again, they've shown me the thing that I've been speaking, that I've thought for the past few years. United still do not have that ability to play against low blocks. They struggle so much. They don't combine, they don't play, they don't have that ability. Their players they don't have the desire, they don't make the runs at the right time, they don't have any clear passing patterns that can make them play against those teams. And I think a lot of the things is that it's not that United players don't have that ability, but it's the desire and the know-how to do that. And I don't understand whether it's a lack of coaching, because in the preseason, they did show parts of it where they did those things very well. But again, when they get into the season and they play against in the league, they still struggle to be able to do that consistently. They don't do that well enough. And they concede they concede goals that are very, very easy. Teams don't have to work too hard to be able to score against United. Teams don't have to work too hard to have possession against United. They can easily keep possession because United are very passive in terms of their pressing one, and also in terms of their desire to win the ball back. And the physicality is something that they are lacking. That's why I said that the signing of Baleba is going to be a big signing, because that lack of physicality is something that they lack against. Tielemans and Bruno did not work. Tielemans was very poor. Very, very, very poor. There was a lot of balls that he lost out. The lack of pace, the spaces, and again, the spaces between Manchester United's defense, the midfield, and the attack was very big. It was very easy for Hull City to get to United's defense, and especially when United have the ball. Tielemans and Bruno, the lack of possession and the lack of clinical edge when we get to the final third, in terms of their passing, in terms of their movement, was very poor and very shallow. There was a lot of balls that Tielemans lost. It was when Hull City put them under pressure and pressed Manchester United in the mid-block, Manchester United lost a lot of balls. Dogu, again in the game, I remember I spoke in one of the videos, Dogu, he still has to develop into an attacking player. But when he plays against teams that when he has to play in narrow spaces, he struggles so much because he doesn't have the technical ability to keep the ball in tight spaces. And there were 4 or 5 times when he got the ball, it's either he kept the ball long enough, or when Man United were playing that strong pass that Andre Santos likes to do, that likes to play that ball in between the opposition or Hull City midfield line, where you have to be careful and you have to have that ability. It's either he had a heavy touch or he had a touch and then Hull City got on him and took the ball off him. Again, Cunha still was moving in and around, but didn't have enough movement. There wasn't enough combinations around him that would make it easy for him to play. And they struggled. United struggled in possession. And again, the thing that I said, the moment United didn't get a lot of when United, and that's one thing that you should see, is that United are gonna struggle in a lot of games when they play against teams that are not that Man United are gonna struggle a lot this season if they don't improve that aspect of the game. I really love Bruno Fernandes. I think he's Manchester United's best player. But when Man United are playing against teams that sit back and sit deep, Bruno is gonna frustrate a lot of Manchester. And now because Rashford is there and Mbeumo is there, he's going to frustrate Manchester United a lot, because he's going to want to come to the ball, he's going to come and take the ball from deep, and he's going to want to play those long balls or those passes in behind. And United are going to lose a lot of balls. His game understanding of when to play narrow, of when to combine, is something that he still doesn't have that ability to do so. He gets quickly frustrated. And that's why United need to have a game understanding of knowing when is it the time for us to pick up the tempo. And they have to be careful with the ball. They have to be more technical. They have to be in possession, especially when they get to the final third. United have to be more positionally secured in order to keep the ball. Because today it wasn't the fact that Hull City technically played them off the park, but Hull City knew what they had to do, understood where United's weaknesses were. They played the ball fast. When they won the ball, they played the ball long to McBurney, played off the second balls, got the ball wide to their wing backs, crossed the balls, gave a lot of pressure to Maguire and Heaven, and United couldn't cope with the physicality and the crosses into the box. And they struggled against set piece wise. Again, on the width side, the lack of pace from Luke Shaw to get back, and defend was still a struggle, even though I don't think he did anything wrong. But United's cohesion as a team was very poor, was very, very, very poor. And there's still a lot of work to be done in this team. United still have a really poor underbelly as a team. They still have to work very hard. Michael Carrick has a lot of work to do. I don't think his changes, in terms of his changes, I don't understand what. For me, honestly, when the second half started, I was speaking with one of my colleagues and I said, I think it's important that Carrick takes up one between Bruno Fernandes or Tielemans and puts in Zirkzee. Zirkzee has been playing throughout the whole season and he's been the player that Manchester United have looked good when they've had to play against teams that play game. He's very technically secure, wants to keep the ball back. But United need to learn. They need to learn very quickly to play their most technical players and have positional discipline to be able to play through teams that sit back. Because what United faced today against Hull City is what they're going to face against most teams in the league this season. A lot of teams what United face are going to do a lot of what Manchester United face in Hull City is what they're going to face against other teams away from home. And also when they play at home, if they don't have that capacity to play against, to do that, they're going to struggle. And that's why I said is that it's not that United are going to lose games, but the reason that's the thing that's going to stop their progression is being able to play against these teams at the lower end of the table. That is their biggest weakness. United can play against big teams, they can play against teams that give them space, against teams that come after them, because then they could play on the counter-attack on turnover football. But when they play against teams that they are given the initiative to attack them, that's where the struggle is going to come. And if you've noticed, guys, they struggled a lot, even in the second half of the season when they had to play against those teams. They struggled a lot. Remember last season they played against Everton. They won that game 1-0 on a counter-attacking, but they struggled to keep the ball and play against. Again, the game against Newcastle United, they had a lot of the ball, struggled to play against the team that played deep. There were a lot of games that they won, but they struggled. Played against Bournemouth away, struggled to be able to break Bournemouth down, even though they scored 2 goals, but they still struggle a lot. They struggle a lot against teams that they sit back on. And that is one of their biggest weaknesses that they have to really, really work on. So, guys, I just wanted to give my thoughts on that. It was a poor performance, guys. Very, very, very poor performance. And if Manchester United players don't pick up their socks, it's gonna be a yo-yo season. Yes, it's the first game of the season, and it's more of a shock for a lot of the fans. But for me, when I looked at the aspects of the game, I didn't get really surprised, because I could see that some of the weaknesses and some of the things that I was looking at United to improve on are some of the things that they're still doing really poorly. Not controlling the game well enough. Players not being able to combine very well. Looks like players losing the desire very early and not playing with a lot of energy, not playing with a lot of desire, not putting a team under pressure. And you have to earn the right. You have to earn the right to win the game. You have to outwork your opponent. You have to put them under pressure. You have to work hard. You have to pin them back, and you have to play with pace, and you have to play with speed. Your passing has to be quick. You have to make sure that your passing has to be on point. You have to have passing has to be crisp. You have to play with a lot of speed. You have to put them under pressure. And when you lose the ball, you have to work very hard to get the ball back. You can't give an opposition team confidence to get on the ball. The moment you allow a team in the Premier League, you have to overwhelm you physically, you are gonna struggle. And that's what United are gonna struggle. They didn't earn the right to win that game. They were very lackadaisical, and they didn't put Hull City under pressure. So that's one thing that I hope it's a wake up moment for the players, and the kick up the backsides that they needed. A lot of their players need to pick up the socks. Bruno needs to improve. Tielemans, yes, it was a good signing for Aston Villa. Not a good start to the season. Even in the game against AC Milan, played very poorly. Needs to improve. Even the game against Leeds, there were a lot of balls that he missed out on. Our combinations have to improve. Again, in the front line, they didn't give a lot of ball to Mbeumo. I can't blame him because he didn't get enough. The moment our players don't get the ball enough, they start to move a bit fast and they start to force things. And we need to learn to be able to play quickly. Yeah, guys, there's still a lot of work to be done, and more videos are gonna come, guys. Again, like, subscribe, guys, leave a comment, and yeah, disappointing start, guys. Sharp.